Welcome to another episode of Elephant in the Room. This episode is number 18. Before we get into our normal spiel of me giving shout outs and, getting into the topics of this week, I wanted to give you guys a personal apology as to having you guys wait for a couple extra days for this episode. This past week was it was quite a busy one for me. It was a lot too as well. This past week, well, like a week and a half ago, I lost my uncle Mike. Just the uncle who was prominent in my life. Somebody who, I have a close relationship with, and somebody that I am incredibly close with his oldest son, my older cousin, which is my brother, Michael Carter Jr. So, just this past week of burying him, I wanted to make sure I was there for my cousin that at every step of the way. Anything he needed me to do, I wanted to make sure I was there for him. And, due to that fact, I was unable to set aside some time to give you guys, this current episode. But just going into each and every episode, I always want to make sure I'm in the right headspace. I got my topics together, they're organized, and again, I want to give you guys the best product I can actually give you each and every week. I am learning each and every week to do this, and for those of you who are sticking with me, watching every episode, again, as I always do at this time, I greatly appreciate you guys. Y'all do not understand. I mean, most people, will think this is just you turn your camera on and you talk and you give your opinion. Man, for the most part, it is. It is. I'm not gonna complicate it out. It is that, but at the same time, the more you grow, the more you get into this, and the more you learn about it, you realize you have to be more prepared. Your headspace has to be right. You know what I mean? And I want to give you guys my undivided attention and my all out effort each and every week. I decide to do this. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, my headspace was in a little bit everywhere this past week. So, that was the reason for not giving you guys an episode over the weekend. But here I am. Like I told you, I don't care what's going on. As long as God bless me to give me air in my lungs and everything like that, I'm gonna keep my word with you guys and giving you guys an episode each and every week. So before we move forward, like I said, I want to let you guys know this episode right here is dedicated to my uncle Mike, who passed away at the age of 67. And with his funeral being on Friday, his birthday was also on Saturday. So yeah, it was really tough. But again, like I said, we're gonna keep it rolling, and we're gonna continue to make him and other family members in my family, both alive and no longer with us. We're gonna continue to make them proud, or at least try to. So with that being said, I want to welcome you guys, man. And again, thank you guys for everybody who has been sticking with me every week, been watching me grow. This platform will get better as it go along. But again, like, it's important to me to share with you guys my growth. You know what I mean? I want you to see each and every process to this. You know what I mean? So like I said, for everybody who has been sticking with me, watching every episode, I appreciate you guys. For everybody who this may be your first episode ever, welcome. Like I said, Elephant in the Room is basically, self-explanatory. It's the biggest topics of the week, the most talked about topics of the week. And I'm going to give you guys my opinion from my view, as respectful as possible, but as honest as possible as well. So with that being said, again, my latest project, Gold Tape, is available now. Everywhere music is sold, everywhere music can be heard. Please go check it out. Please go check it out, people. I can promise you it will not be a waste of your time. With that being said, we're gonna jump right into the topics of the week. The one thing that I wanted to start with was Cayenne Lacey, or Kyron Lacey. I apologize if I'm saying his name wrong. He was a former receiver at LSU, who was projected to be a first round pick, who just recently committed suicide. He was a young man who was, I believe, he was facing a murder charge because I guess he had a high speed chase with the cops, and as a result of that, he had got into, like, I don't know, a car accident, and at the expense of his car chase, whether it be a car accident or I think he may have hit somebody. He was now being charged for murder, and his murder trial was actually supposed to start, I believe, this upcoming week. I don't know the date, but I don't want to speculate, but I think it's pretty apparent, like it's pretty, like, obvious, like, this suicide, you know, that may have that he may have performed to take his life. That murder trial probably had a lot to do with that. Again, I'm not speculating, I'm just giving you my opinion. As of right now, it's too early to tell. He was found dead in Houston. Uh, Again, which appears, as they say, to be suicide. Uh, Young man at 25 years old, 24, 25 years old, man. The reason why I wanted to start out with that, I mean, again, a young man losing his life with so much promise, even with facing a murder charge, man. Somebody who probably thought his life was over because what he worked for his entire life was in serious jeopardy. You know what I mean? With probably not being able to go to the NFL, and having to serve time in prison. You know that probably led him to taking his life. Very, very sad situation. So before I give my opinion about this subject, I want to express my condolences. You know what I mean? My sorrow for him and his family, and also the person that lost his life, the person that lost their life at the expense of him and his car chase. I also want to, extend my condolences out to them as well. But one thing that I wanted to touch on with this is not so much with his situation personally, but just in general, man. One thing we've all been noticing is mental health. Again, people, this is elephant in the room. While being respectful, I'm also going to be honest. Mental health is something that I never understood. And don't get me wrong, again, like, yes, do we deal with things that have us uncomfortable, have us afraid, have us scared, has us worried, stressed? Yes, absolutely. Everybody has dealt with that. I don't care what walk of life you come from. I don't care where your financial status is at in life. We've all dealt with that, right? But apologies in advance. Checking out was never an option. Killing yourself was never an option. It just, it wasn't like that was, it was never thought about. I don't care what you going through. It was never an option. Now, for people out there who, health is terrible. You know what I mean? At every turn in life, something always seems to go horribly wrong. you can't catch a break to save your life. Those people, I understand if that may creep into your mind. I understand that. I'm damn near not even talking about y'all when I'm talking about this. These situations that we can get over, you losing your job, you losing money, your significant other leaving you, no matter if you're male or female, you have to allow yourself to cool down a little bit. Allow yourself to get over it. Don't go through something and automatically, like, that's your first or second thought is to, like, kill yourself. Figure that shit out, man. You know, let's make it cool to be strong again. You know, I hear a lot of times, like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be weak. It's never okay to be weak. It's understandable. It's understandable. But while being weak, you have to strengthen yourself and get through things, man. Life is going to throw a lot of shit at you. And you killing yourself should never pop up in your head. Especially if it's some shit you dealing with. Yes, while now it is fearful and stressful and everything of that sort, allow yourself to deal with that adversity. Allow yourself to deal with that. I'm going to tell you right now, from a personal experience, what you see is what you get with me. My life is amazing. I am incredibly blessed. I am completely healthy. And yes, I go to the doctor, dentist, everything. I'm on top of everything. I am completely healthy. I have 2 beautiful, healthy baby girls. And I have a slew of people who I love to death. And that means the world to me in my life. And fortunately enough for me, I mean the world to them as well. You know what I mean? So my life is great. I am blessed beyond measure. But at the same time, as you guys, for anybody who has been paying attention through my journey, both my music career, you know, with Scale and now this, like, yeah, I've had my times when I went through some rough shit. Of, you know, as you guys always know, you know, losing my father and my grandmother on the same day. Same day, same year, 7 hours apart. It was to the point where, you know, people was asking, like, yo, like, did they die in a fire or something? Like, was it like a situation like a fire or a car accident or something like that? It's like, no, it was 2 different sicknesses, 2 different hospitals, 2 different times. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, that was rough. I can promise you, killing myself was never an option. Like, that was, I don't know. It was just like, all right, like, yes, I'm sad. Yes, I feel it. Yes, I miss my pops. I miss my grandma. Yes. But we gonna figure this shit out. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna cry. Like, I remember, like, it was after my pops died and my grandmother died in 2001, my next 10 birthdays, I cried every year. But I never, you know, I never made it a big spectacle. You know what I mean? When I would feel it coming on, I would dip off somewhere privately by myself, let it out, get my eyes, whiten my eyes up, and go back to whatever I was doing. You know what I'm saying? But not to compare anything to me, because everybody's situation is different. But yo, man, like, no, you figure that out. You figure that out. I have a best friend who's also, I mean, if you guys pay any attention to me, I talk about him every chance I get. I have a best friend who's locked up for 50 years to life. 50. And as we speak right now, he has been incarcerated for about 17, 18 years. He pays his daughter high school tuition. He pays for all of his kids' school clothes each and every year. And, you know, he has every range of kid from a 17-year-old to a 5-year-old. And currently right now he has 4 kids. You know what I mean? So he's done everything to this point right now. I just got off the phone with him last night. He's making phone calls to get his oldest son, his oldest kid, into JUCO college. You know what I mean? A 2-year college that will prepare you for the NCAA, you know, whatever sport you play in. And in this case, it's basketball. His mind is constantly working. And on top of that, has an actual fair case to be released from prison. But he would have never got to this point had he allowed that initial shock of, yo, I have to spend basically the rest of my life in prison. He would have never got to this point. Them beautiful kids of his would have never understood, would have never knew what it was like to have a father in their life at all. Now, yes, he's incarcerated, so the part of being a father physically is limited because his freedom he doesn't have at this moment, but he's still there for his kids through his time that he's, you know what I mean, dealing with. Like, this is shit that, yo, man, you got, figure it out. I don't care what it is, figure it out. And I know right now this may sound like a flex. I'm trying to be too cool for school. And no, like, I'm just like, I don't like hearing mental health a lot, man. I don't. And when I say I don't like it, it means I'm worried, like, as far as like where this generation is going. Because again, no matter how I feel about it, I have 2 baby girls, you know, who will be released to the world at some point. And I don't want them growing up in a space where, yo, if I go through anything, yo, I can actually kill myself and not deal with it. No, that is not an option. It is not an option. You have to figure that shit out. Be strong. Be strong. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to refer to people who thought about suicide and this and that to the third as being weak. Is just taking a shortcut. You know what I mean? Running away from things that, running away from tests in life. No, deal with it. I can promise you, you will see it through the other side. I can promise you that. Just allow yourself to be able to deal with it. Don't automatically assume you won't be able to deal with whatever life tosses at you, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Again, it was this whole spiel I'm going on as far as like, you know what I mean, telling you my experience and, you know, telling you my best friend's experience. This is not to flex on anybody. That was like our mentality. Like it was just, yo, figure it out. Figure it out, y'all. Figure that shit out. Please don't have an option be to kill yourself. Please don't allow that to be an option. Like, that shit is sad. Like, and now it's like to the point where it's people killing themselves that's in a great position in life. It's like, what is going on? What is, no, we not doing that. We not doing this. It's okay to be weak shit anymore. It's okay to be vulnerable. We not doing that no more. Be strong, man. Let's deal with that shit. Let's deal with it. Fight back. Fuck all that being weak shit. Fuck all that trying to take the shortcut or the easy way out, whatever you want to call it. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Let's be strong. Because I can promise you, if you allow yourself to deal with it, to deal with adversity. Look, man, I've been bullied. I've had 3 bullies in my life. I had a bully at school, and then had to come home and deal with 2 bullies in my hood. Now, I had an older cousin, Nuke. Shouts out to my older cousin. He got the one at school up off my ass. But the other 2 in my neighborhood, I had to deal with physically. And because of one of my great friends, Scrap, he had told me one day, we was going to the basketball court, and this is back in the day when everybody was at the basketball court. And it's like, those 2 dudes, they gonna be there. Listen, if either one of them put their hands on you and you let them, we not friends no more. Don't call me, don't come by my house. I'm not fucking with you no more. We 11, 12, well, I'm 11, 12, he 13, 14. And this is back in the day. I just used to be scared of people just because they were older than me. That was it. And long story short, we had got in, it was a situation where he pushed me. And that was his last time putting his hands on me again. Yes, convincingly I won that fight. Convincingly. No debate about who won. It was to the point where it was only one bully I had to deal with that day, but the fight went so much my way, the other bully heard about it and left me alone. So after that, when you shock yourself and it's like, wait a minute, I got this in me? Like, I can actually face my fears and it might not be as bad as it may seem. That's the first line of adversity you have to deal with, like on a normal basis, is bullies. You know what I mean? Allow yourself to deal with it. Please don't sell yourself short and think the world will be a better place without you in it. That is not the case. God has put in every one of us here for a reason. Please stick around and find out what that reason is. You would be shocked at the things you would be able to accomplish, both out of fear and admiration. So, like I said, rest in peace to that young man. His name is Kyron Lacey, I believe. If I'm saying his name right, and I apologize if I'm not. But a former wide receiver at LSU who was projected to be a first-round pick in this year's NFL draft. Please, people, stick around, man. Stick around. Y'all young people, man, y'all way too dope. Y'all got way too much information out here to be successful, to ever check yourself out early. Nah, we ain't doing that. Stick around. Stick around. So, rest in peace to that young man. Like I said, may God bless your soul. And my heart goes out to all parties involved, both of the people that lost or the person that lost their life at the hands of his high-speed chase and him and his family. May God bless you all. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, we also have, switching subjects, Tony Busby. Tony Busby, that is the, lawyer, as y'all all know, who is most famous for, the Diddy and the Jay-Z saga that's been going on. Well, really Diddy. Jay-Z doesn't have any saga. But he was in the news recently, giving a statement to, I forget which platform. I believe it was TMZ. I forget though. I believe it was TMZ. He had said that he thought him and Jay-Z had a deal. And what that basically entails is, hey man, I thought if I drop my case against you, you'll drop your sue against me. That isn't the case. Again, I'm not in either one of those individuals, conversations. So I don't know if that's true or not. Now I can tell you what I believe. Then I'm gonna do that. Again, this is elephant in the room, but technically I don't know if it was if they had a deal or not. But again, for anybody out there who has any doubt of Jay-Z being involved in some shady shit as far as molesting underage people or raping motherfuckers or drugging people, why would you be trying to reach a deal with somebody who you claim was a monster? Why? Why? It's just, I mean, you no longer care about justice now? You just want to get out of the shit you in. I mean, look, man, that's the news that's been going on this past week. I don't have much to say about that because, again, I told you guys what I thought about that a long time ago. That lawyer is full of shit. It also just recently came out that Jay-Z and Beyonce name has been removed from somebody else's experience with the freak offs. I didn't even know their name was in anything together, but their name has been removed. It's a big shit show. It's a huge shit show. And like I told you guys a couple weeks ago on one of these episodes, all of this will help Diddy. Now, has he done the shit that they saying he's done? I don't know. Trial is coming up. I will preserve my opinion until I see the proof. You know what I mean? But I mean, if I'm telling you what I believe right now, I don't believe all of it. I mean, no. But that's the thing. All of it doesn't have to be true. Just one thing has to be true. You know what I mean? And his ass is grass. So could he have been guilty of something? Yeah, he could have, but I don't know though. I don't know. But all of these false allegations, and at this time, anybody who is paying attention to any of this, you can tell right now they just doing the shit for shits and giggles. They doing the shit trying to go viral, trying to grab a quick check, or to try to have their name out there to the point where, people will pay them for interviews and tell their side of a horrific experience they may have had with Diddy or Jay-Z or whomever else. You know what I mean? But again, this whole thing is a big ass shit show. And again, I'm still shocked at how much people are able to lie and get away with these fucking lies. Like, this is a lot to put on an individual. So again, Tony Busby saying he thought him and Jay-Z had a deal, and I think it's in regards to, hey man, I'll drop my case against you if you drop your sue against me. So he dropped his case against Jay-Z, but Jay-Z did not drop his sue against him, his lawsuit against him. And I pray to God, I hope he don't. Because again, people, it's time. It's cool to fight back. It's actually cool to be strong. It's cool. Like, that is a great thing, and you feel good about yourself. You feel great about yourself when you do it. So like I said, I hope Jay-Z and that whole team over there in Rock Nation, I hope they take that lawyer, that bullshit ass lawyer, to the cleaners. because that shit was a lie when it first broke, and now it's even more obvious to even tell. That's some bullshit. So that whole shit show is his name is continuing to be in the news as far as Tony Busby, and all of it is bad. All of it is bad. So, I'm just bringing that up. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. This has just happened last week. Only reason why I'm bringing it up. Now, another subject that I wanted to touch on. It's personal to me. Cam and Mace. Cam and Mace has recently, I ain't gonna say been in the news, but you guys all know I'm from Buffalo, New York. So this definitely hit our radar. Their show, It Is What It Is, where they talk about a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? I think it's like it was created to be a sports show, but they've had super success with it. So they, lingered out into talking about a little bit of everything. So Cam had recently had asked Mace, do he consider Buffalo, New York to be a part of New York City? And, Mace laughed for about 2 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know what his response was. I mean, it was no, like, nah, like they not a part of New York. You know what I mean? But they was, talking Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester. And it's like, but the Buffalo one got a lot of attention. Look, man, look, it is no secret. I am no fan of either one, Cam or Mace. Mace is a dude. I think he's soft as fuck. I do. I don't even know how we let him get to this point of even talking like he does now. This is a guy who, was a preacher for 10 plus years. And now he's in front of a camera, however often they come on, talking about, I don't give a fuck, this and that to the third, like talking crazy, like talking like a complete gangster. Listen, man, now Mace is somebody who I was a super fan of back in the day. And when I found out why he stopped rapping and why he left Harlem, now I get mixed reviews. You know what I mean? Because I initially thought, he had problems with somebody in Harlem, and whoever he had a problem with was, a guy you don't really feel like having problems with. And for that reason alone, he moved out his city and went to Atlanta, Georgia, and became a preacher. And so and I believe that, I believe that shit happened. Now, I get mixed reviews from, mostly a lot of people on social media, and it's a couple people who I respect and value their opinion, and it's like, yo, bro, that ain't how it went, this and that to the third. There was a lot going on, and they actually from Harlem. So, I mean, I'm not going to spread false information if that's not the case. But Mace is soft as shit. Cam is somebody else who, Cam cool. Cam, he cool. I'm just not a fan of him. You know what I mean? He cool, but, I'm just not a fan of him. Let me tell y'all something, man. Cam and Mace. Being from New York City, it is not the flex that you guys think it is. First and foremost, we do not consider ourselves New York City. People from New York City are the only ones that have that conversation. You guys are the only ones. Now, to come to your defense a little bit, back in the day, people, I'm not going to say people said they were from New York, but people from Buffalo would intentionally lead people to believe that they're from New York City. And what I'm saying about that is, it'll be times where, you may go to Spring Bling, you might go to Caravana, you might go to, Mardi Gras, whatever. And you may run into some people you attracted to. You may run into some chicks. Oh yeah, where you from? Like, oh, I'm from Buffalo, New York. And they are saying Buffalo, New York, hoping that this female would assume New York City. Yes, 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 yes. Because I hear a lot of people from my town, from Buffalo, we passionate about our city. Man, we ain't never consider ourselves New York. It was a lot of people that was, again, you right. We never considered ourselves part of New York City because we're not. We're 7 to 8 hours away driving from New York City. We are not a borough, nothing. We are a city in New York State. That is it. But we are not a part of New York City at all. But it was a few people that I know personally that would, I'm from Buffalo, New York, hoping that that person they talking to will assume that they're from New York City. And yes, being from New York used to be a flex. You know what I mean? People used to love the way they talk, the way they dress, the way they walk, the way they carry themselves. They used to love that shit. So somebody thinking you was from New York City, you may get in some doors. You may even get in between some legs that you may not have gotten in between if they didn't think you were from New York City. Yes, yes, yes. So I can't go with, oh, we never claimed to be a part of New York City. It was a lot of people. Never, me personally, never. I'm not even saying I'm from Buffalo, New York. I'm saying I'm from Buffalo. I'm not even putting the New York in it. I'm saying I'm from Buffalo. But certain people, it was, I'm from Buffalo, New York. And then, oh, you from New York City. All they hear is New York. And they just automatically assume I'm from New York City. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to correct you in that. You know what I mean? But Cam Mace, that was 20 years ago, when it was a flex to be from New York City. That was 20 years ago, maybe even 25. That shit is not a flex. I know I said earlier, that's not the flex you think it is. With all due respect to my New York City brethren, it is not a flex at all to be from New York City. At all. So we haven't had that type of problem in ages, in decades. So I don't know why that question came up. I don't know. But like I told you, like New York City, like dudes from New York City are the only ones having that conversation. I can promise you. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. You know what I mean? So Cam and May showing their age a little bit. Because again, like when they were hot, yeah, it was a flex to be from New York. It was a flex to be from New York City. You know what I mean? Like, even like back in the day, you remember all my Buffalo people know what I'm talking about. If you dress nice, you have a nice outfit, or if we see each other constantly and I'm always dressing to the T, be like, yo, bro, where you from? You from New York? That was a compliment, because it was like, yo, people from all around the world would give New York City their props as far as their fashion. So for anybody who may have seen this person in Buffalo, New York, and this dude can dress, it's like, well, he can't be from Buffalo because Buffalo dudes can't dress. That's how a lot of people would think. So they would automatically assume, yo, you from here? Yo, you from New York? Yo, you from the city? Yeah, because you don't dress like you from here. That used to be a compliment. But again, Cam, Mace, that was a dub ago. That was 20 years ago. We in 2025, bruh. It's just not the flex it once was to be from New York City. So you don't even have to ask that question anymore. We are not a part of New York City, never was a part of New York City, and don't look to be a part of New York City. With all due respect to everybody in New York, it's a lot of y'all that's dope. You know what I mean? Both artists, actors, athletes, etc. Like y'all New York City, y'all the Big Apple. We Buffalo, New York though. And we have extreme pride being where we from. And, as a result of that, I guess enough noise was made to the point, Cameron, I'm not going to say he had to, but he had went to address the situation and saying, you know what I mean? Basically saying I wasn't shitting on people from Buffalo. And I don't think Cam was, though. I don't think Cam was. I just think it was Mace's reaction that had us like, fuck this corny motherfucker laughing at. Fuck this soft motherfucker laughing at. You know what I mean? Like, that's what got our reaction being to where it is. But Cam and Mace, I don't give a fuck if I'm a fan of them or not. They have a dope show, a super successful show that that is what it is show, and that was the show that question was on. You know what I mean? So for those of y'all who may not be familiar with it, go check that show out because it is dope. It's a dope show. You know what I mean? It is. But again, Cam, Mace, kill that, bro. Kill that. We not New York City. I was about to say never claimed to have been. Me personally, I've never claimed to have been. But I'm telling you, it was a couple of us out here that was saying we from Buffalo, New York. And we was putting emphasis on that New York for a reason. Because a lot of us was hoping the person we're talking to will just assume we're from a borough in New York City, and the door's open to get whatever we want. So so there you have it with that. Not too many more subjects. Again, one thing that had happened this past week, the rapper Game had went off on Kanye West. Kanye West, again, I wasn't even going to talk about it, you know what I mean, because Kanye West ain't getting no airplay on this platform. But again, this is something that has made lots of, news lately. I guess, let me see, let me get this right. So Drake has a friend / goon. For those of you who don't know what goon is, basically like a fear factor in your crew. Somebody that if that person's there, we not gonna try them tonight. Oh yeah. We not gonna chill, such and such with them. That's what a goon is. You know what I mean? So Drake has a friend / goon who goes by the name of Top 5. And I guess he posted a picture with him on IG, Instagram, and Game liked and commented on the picture. And Kanye West, I guess, didn't like that because I guess this Top 5 guy has been threatening to kill Kanye West. So Kanye West goes on his Twitter, and yes, we're referring it to Twitter, and said, why would Game, somebody who I gave 2 Maybachs to, be showing love to somebody who has repeatedly threatened to kill me? Well, I guess I'm not executive producing his album anymore. And Game just went in, calling Kanye weird, explaining the situation like, look, I'm cool with all y'all, man. And, you called me and you asked me to rectify the situation, and I did. You know what I mean? Now your weird ass, knowing you got my number, you could have hit me personally about this, but you want to take to Twitter. But he referred it to call it by the other name it goes by, which is X. You gon' come to X and express your frustrations or your disagreements with me, like, F you weird ass, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of that. Again, just reporting the news. Game and Kanye are kind of like the same in terms of like trying to do things for attention. Game is somebody who is dope though. He dope, but he just the integrity meter isn't the highest. You know what I mean, in terms of just staying solid like 100% of the time. You know what I mean. Kanye is somebody who he don't get no airplay on this platform. So that's just the news. My take on it. Game is somebody who is well respected. You know what I mean, in his area of Los Angeles, California. Somebody who has given us great music. You know what I mean, and has had a lengthy career of being in the limelight. You know what I mean, but Game, stop giving your attention to weird motherfuckers, to just hoe ass men. You know what I mean? Same advice I gave to Jim Jones. Like, man, stop, let that dude die, man. Let him die, bro. Like, let him kill himself off. You know what I mean? At this point, I mean, there's nothing you can say about that individual and Kanye West that will, like, get people going. Like, dude he's his career is gone. His legacy is no longer. He's at that point right now where he's just saying anything for attention. And again, if y'all want to know what that is, y'all go research that on y'all own. I'm not talking about that dude at all. Aside from, you know what I mean, only reason why I'm talking about this subject is because Game has something to do with it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't really have no, you know what I mean, no in-depth opinion about that. It's just, two dudes who are tight, who are kind of like on the same type of time. Game, just stop giving your space, stop giving your energy to just weak motherfuckers who are clinging on for dear life by just being a shock jock or trying to be. You know what I mean? So just leave that be. Let that dude die on his own. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was like extremely petty. But Game is somebody who's gonna go back and forth with him 110%. And he might punch him in his face when he see him. So that's something that Kanye West needs. So me, for one, I don't promote violence, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I hope that happens 110%. There that is. I don't really have a deep dive with that. The last subject we're gonna talk about is Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather had broke the news some time ago, but it was within 12 months of him buying like 6 buildings for like 400 million in New York City. And it has now been reported that he may have falsified that information, because I guess the actual the purchase hasn't been made public. So I mean, they don't, a lot of people who pays this some type of attention, they don't think it happened. But Floyd Mayweather ain't really one for lying. Again, I'm not a fan of him either. You know what I mean? Because of his support for Trump. This is not a political show, but again, it's certain people who support Trump, and I get why. You know what I mean? I understand it. But it's certain people that, and Floyd Mayweather happens to be one, I don't rock with for that reason. So, but dude ain't really known to be a liar. Like, saying he bought something and he didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But, it is being reported that sale, there's no record of that sale being official or happening at all. Like, so, a lot of people, of course, people who may not be on the right side of things with Floyd Mayweather, they're taking him to town right now. People like 50 Cent, making fun of him being caught in a lie. But I don't know if it's a lie or if it's not. Floyd Mayweather did respond to the reports of it being a lie by saying he's standing by what he reported. Like, I did buy it. You know what I mean? So, again, me for one, I'm gonna be 110% honest with you. I don't care about that. But again, people, I promise you, and I'm gonna get better at this, but I'm just giving you the news. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't report on it. But the reason why I don't really have a deep dive for this type of stuff is just because, like, for one, man, listen, it has been acceptable to lie forever. It just has. But if you are on the popular side of the lie, like if you're a popular person and you got caught lying, that's when it's not cool. Oh, fuck is you doing? But motherfuckers lying all the time, and you guys don't care. So why is it, let's say Floyd Mayweather did lie about it. Okay, he lied about it. Are we going to believe that he don't have the money to do that? Are we going to believe that he will never buy a property or properties that's worth that much? No. You know what I mean? So I don't really get the whole, oh, he lied. These motherfuckers lying every day around y'all. You watch you watch interviews with people who just lie all day long. And you guys are acceptable of it. You know what I mean? So why is it a problem now? Why is it an issue now? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? So I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? Because it has been acceptable to lie for a long time. And, like I said, it just don't really pique my interest in, him buying a building. I guess it was to put affordable housing. That's dope if that's the case. If it's true, it's dope. You know what I mean? But I don't really see why he would lie about something like that. Floyd Mayweather ain't really one to lie about buying no shit. So even with me not being a fan of him, you know what I mean? So, there that is. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it, but it's whatever, man. So again, people, that'll do it for this week. In this week's episode 18 of Elephant in the Room. I want to thank everybody. Again, as always, man, I'm going to thank y'all every week because, again, without y'all, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't even be knowing this was possible. You know what I mean? But I want to let you guys know, I want to touch back on what I started to show off with. Mental health, while, yes, I say I don't understand it, I don't like it, it's something that it's a real thing in this world. And I want to let y'all know, I've been in y'all face for quite some time now. Again, with music, with my clothing line that I have with my brother Larry Legend, and this. Listen, man, I deal with self-doubt. I deal with it. You know what I mean? You think I don't see the numbers these episodes do? I'm not the biggest podcast in the world. It's not even big yet. But it's authentic. And it will catch fire. It will. And it will catch fire organically. It won't be a gimmick. It won't be a hot take. It won't be me being disrespectful or being belligerent to anyone. But, when I do these joints, I think my highest view is probably episode 8 or 9. I think I got 15 views. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do you deal with self-doubt? Yeah. But I know I'm dope. I just have to figure out a way to get people to want to care about this. You know what I'm saying? So could I allow self-doubt to pop in my head and, yo, man, ain't nobody paying attention to this shit, man. I'm about to end. Nah. Because just like with everything, I started with music from the ground. You know, I was a football dude, man. I was a sports dude. So, and I started rapping in '05, where you had to be tough to rap. So when people first heard I rapped from my neighborhood, a lot of them laughed, and understandably so, till they heard them records. Shit wasn't so funny after that. You know what I mean? So like, we started from the bottom with the clothing line. From our first 2 or 3 inventories, we was giving a lot of that shit away. We was giving it away, but we knew it would stick. We knew it would stick. And the most important thing is consistency. The most important thing is consistency. You can blow the doors off the roof. You can create a new song that could go viral tonight. But if you ain't got nothing that's going to back that record up, guess what? That other artist who have been putting out okay records, but he been putting out okay records for a long fucking time. Guess who gonna get that record deal? Guess who gonna get the recognition? Guess who gonna get the paid shows? Guess who gonna get all of that? The most opportunities. The ones that's being consistent. So just because things may be looking bleak right now, don't give up on the shit. I can promise you, each and every last one of us is stronger than you let on to believe. All of us are stronger than we know. So when you go through things, and if you are fortunate enough to live a long life, you're gonna go through shit. You're gonna lose people that is going to be absolutely gut-wrenching. Shit is gonna happen. You gonna gain shit, you gonna lose shit. You gonna make money, you gonna lose it. You gonna fall in love, get your heart broke. You gonna fall in love, you might fuck up. But allow yourself to live through that adversity. Because I can promise you, that light at the end of the tunnel is closer than it appears to be. This checking out shit, killing yourself, this shit has become too normal for my liking. And like I said, my makeup, no, we figuring this shit out. And all I want to do is express my energy on the world, because yes, I'm not trying to make anybody who mind goes there on a consistent basis, or if at all. I'm not trying to make y'all feel no way. I'm not trying to make y'all feel weak or weird or lame. No, just get up out of that. I'm just trying to give some encouragement, man. Don't just stop. Let yourself figure it out. Allow yourself to be able to figure it out. God has given you strength that you don't even fucking know that you have. But if you making decisions based off of a temporary feeling, you will spend the rest of your days. You will spend the rest of your days dealing with the consequences of those decisions that you made. So shortcuts, again, it ain't never been the way to go. Please, people, please, that for those of you who have mental health issues, talk to somebody, get that checked. But for those of you young men, young women out there who coming up in the world, who trying to figure yourselves out, you're gonna have self-doubt. Yeah, you're gonna be stressed about certain things. Yeah, you're gonna be worried about this. Yeah, you're not gonna be good at everything. Yeah, certain things is gonna happen in your life that it's not going to be to your benefit. But we all deal with that. It's not what you go through, it's how you go through it. You know what I mean? So please, people, please, let's make it cool to be strong again. Please, y'all. So with that being said, man, again, stay safe, stay sucker free, and continue to do whatever makes sense to you in your life. Because at the end of the day, you will be the one who have to live with those decisions that you may make. Oh, yeah, it's cool to let's make it cool to be strong. Let's make it cool to be strong. It's cool to get old. and be able to sit around and watch your kids and be able to create something that may help the next generation take things further. But we have to be in the fight to win it. So with that being said, man, appreciate you guys, man. Until next time, see you guys next week.